This is how you say it. Odiabo Shalom Aleichem. It's not Odiabo Shalom Aleichem. Odiabo Shalom Aleichem. You guys separate the end though. Odiabo Shalom Aleichem. Odiabo Shalom Aleichem. I've never seen that type of TV. I mean, no, just like not like that type where it's like wrapped around and open. I've never seen that. Like usually when I have that type, it's like all covered. Like this. Gavin, this song reminds me of Ew! Look, that was disgusting. Gavin, right? Yeah, right? I don't want to be on. I covered my face. Like, is the camera on right now? Don't cover your face. Don't let them eye them. Oh my god. Cover your face. Don't let them eat this. You just showed them again. I showed them. Wait, can I just see my family for 1 second? Cancer. Can I just go for 1 second? Oh, you need to get it. I gotta go back my dog. I gotta go home. Flip to the night. I think it was so disgusting. Cover. You see it? Take off. I will take off. What's your life?
It's on YouTube.
Wait.
You go onto the templates.
I'm subscribed to you. Wait, excuse me? You have more than 1 minute? Just one time search then. Open cancer.
Am Yisrael Chai, Amen, Amen, Am Yisrael Chai, Amen,
Amen. Amen. Yisrael Chai.
Od Avinu Chai, Od Avinu Chai, Od Avinu Chai, Od Avinu Chai, Amen, Amen, Am Yisrael 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 Chai, Od Avinu Chai, come join in. Od Avinu Chai, Od Avinu Chai. Last time. Amen, Amen, Am Yisrael Chai, Amen, Amen, Am Yisrael Chai, Amen, Amen, Am Yisrael Chai, Amen, Amen, Am Yisrael Chai. What a wonderful way for starting our services tonight. This is Shabbat Hagadol, the big Sabbath right before Passover. You guys can have a seat, it's okay. The Shabbat right before Passover. I like using this Shabbat to think about what does it mean to have freedom? What does it mean to be free? What does that mean for us in our lives? The fact that we live in a place and a time where we might not have to worry too much about very many things, or that for many of us, the feeling of slavery is not something that we deal with. But it's not enough just to be grateful for the freedom that we have in life. We also need to ask, what does this mean? I have this freedom, so ... This means that I need to do what for others. We'll talk a little bit about that later. But as we go into this Shabbat before Passover, let us all take a moment to find gratitude for the things in our lives that give us blessings, but also think about how we can give those blessings to others.
Shabbat Shalom. My name is Ina Horn, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to Anshe Emmeth Memorial Temple. We're so happy to have our junior choir here with us tonight as they share their voices and spirit with us. We look forward to hearing their melodies and uplifting our souls together in prayer. And as we approach Passover, I want to take a moment to wish you and your loved ones a happy and joyous holiday. May this time of reflection and renewal bring you peace, happiness, and blessings for the year ahead. Now let us feel the warmth of Shabbat as we invite Jenny Frace and her granddaughter Serenity up to the bima to light the Shabbat candles and lead us in the blessings that may be found on pages 2 and 3 in your prayer books. Shabbat Shalom.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we by our lives give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generation of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai, blessed eternal one, Eloheinu melech haolam, for God is ruler of all. Asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, blessed by your commands. V'tzivanu lahadlik as we kindle the lights of Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai, blessed eternal one, Eloheinu melech haolam, for God is ruler of all. We continue on pages 20 and 21 for the Chadodi.
Yada la 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 Chadodi, yada la 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 likrat kalam, yada la 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 b'nei Shabbat, b'nei Shabbat nekabelah. Yai dai dai, yada la 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 likrat kalam, yada la 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 b'nei Shabbat, b'nei Shabbat nekabelah.
Shamor lezahor, ish biyadu, el
Adonai echad, u'shemo echad, l'shemo tiferet, v'liteilah. Yai lai lai, yada la 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 Chadodi, yada la 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 likrat kalam, yada la 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 b'nei Shabbat, b'nei Shabbat nekabelah.
Likrat Shabbat,
Lechu v'nelcha, ki mekor Avraham, merosh mikedem nesucha, sof ma'aseh b'machshava tehillah. Yai lai lai, yada la 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 l'chadodi, yada la 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 likrat kalam, yada la 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 b'nei Shabbat, b'nei Shabbat nekabelah. Hitoreri, ki ba'orei, umiori, uri, uri. We rise together.
Boi v'shalom, ateret ba. Gam b'simcha, otzolam. Tov emunei, am segulam. Boi chala, boi chala. Yai, 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 la, 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 chadodi. Yai, la, 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 tikva kala. Yai, la, 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 penei Shabbat, penei Shabbat nekabela.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
We continue on page 26 with Chatzi Kaddish.
Yitkadal ve'yitkadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Be'alma divrach hirute be'abli chute becha onu b'yom echon u'v'chayer kol beit Yisrael ba'agala ובזמן קריב אמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעולם מעלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דאמירן בעלמא ואמרו Amen.
We rise now in either body or spirit for the Baruch Hu on page 28.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayers? Can you hear my voice? Do you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared?
Yada lai lai lai, 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 yada lai lai lai. Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed, le'olam va'ed. Yada lai lai lai, yada lai lai lai, yada lai lai lai, yada lai lai lai,
Yada lai lai lai,
yada lai lai lai, yada lai lai lai, yada lai lai lai. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll בית ישראל, עמך אהבת, תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת. כי הם חיינו, ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגן יומם ולילה. אהבת עולם, בית ישראל, עמך אהבת, תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת. אהבת עולם, בית ישראל, עמך אהבת, תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod, Shem Kavod Malchuto, Le'olam, Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kavod, Shem Kavod Malchuto, Le'olam, Le'olam Va'ed. Yai-da-dai-da-da-da-dai, yai-da-dai-dai-dai-dai.
Please be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם, אמן.
Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together.
מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקי הים לפני משה ומרים. זה אלינו ואמרו, זה אלינו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, hapores sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת תורתם ברית עולם.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת,
לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
ביני
ובין
ובין
בני ישראל אותי לעולם.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת,
לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם בראשונה. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת,
לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם בראשונה. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. Last time.
ושמרו בני ישראל
את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. שפתיי תפתח, ופי יהי תהילתך. Open my lips to good words, to pure words, open my heart to love. Open my lips to good words, to pure words, open my heart to love. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, ve'Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, ve'Konei Hakol, ve'Zocher Chasdei Avod ve'Imahot, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מקלקל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
We continue our Amidah silently through page 63, and when you're ready, you may be seated.
Nicely done, kids. Now, I'm going to invite all of you to put your song sheets on your chairs. And I'm going to invite any kid who's here of any age to have a seat on the floor in the aisle over there for the sermon. So put your prayer books down. And come on over here and have a seat. Anybody who's underneath bar or bat mitzvah age, come and have a seat. And adults on the bima, if you want, you can stare at us or you can come around too. It's up to you. I won't judge either way. Okay. Come on. You're close enough, it counts. Okay. So we have a very special holiday coming up in just a couple of days called Passover. Brownie, what's it called in Hebrew? Pesach. Very good. We have a holiday coming up in a few days called Pesach, Passover. And to me, this is the most important holiday that we celebrate as Jews. I'm going to tell you why in a moment. Not only is it a lot of fun with all those crackers of matzah, but we do a lot of fun stuff at the Seder. Who knows some of the things we do at the Seder? Yeah? We sing songs, yeah? What's that? We have the 4 questions, great. What else do we have? Yeah? We find the matzah, so that broken middle matzah that we find that's hidden is called the Addy, yeah. Afikomen, there we go. I was wondering how many syllables I could give you before you got the rest of it. The afikomen, right? We find that hidden matzah, and sometimes if we're lucky, we might have a grandparent or a parent at the table that you can then bribe to, I'll give you the afikomen if you give me something in return. We call that extortion. You can ask your parents about that later. You want this and you've got to give me something. That's what it is. What else do we do? Ron? We have the 4 cups of wine or juice if you're under 21, right? For the 4 different times God promised to take us out of Egypt, or the 4 different ways. Anything else? Yeah, Isaac? What's that? We tell the story to our kids. Very good. So what do you think? Yeah? Josh? And we eat. And we say prayers. Good. What do you think? Yeah, Tony? We read the Seder. We read the Haggadah, right? The Haggadah is our manual that guides us through the Seder. Seder means order. There is, however, I think one part of the entire Seder that is more important than any other part. What do you think that might be? Batya? What gave you that idea? So we have the 4 questions up here. They are actually, I think, the most important part of the Seder. Now, I want to make sure all of you are ready for Passover with singing the 4 questions. It's incredibly important that you do it. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to ask all of you as one group, if you can. You feel like, who here feels like they know the 4 questions? Man, Yishtana. Okay, we got a couple, yeah? Do you think if we all sang it, all the kids in one group, do you think we could do it all together? Yeah? And it's up on the board too. How about this? If you guys can sing the 4 questions all together, I've got a big jar of lollipops waiting for you. And you each, any kid who chants right now the 4 questions together in the group gets a lollipop. But here's the catch. It's up to your parents as to when you eat the lollipop, either tonight or tomorrow. But you get to take one home. Okay? So, you guys think you can do it? Okay, Cantor, let's see if they've been listening to music class. Dave, are you going to help them out? Okay. Ready? Oh, you want to stand and do it? You can stand and do it. No, Cooper, no. Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, kids, if you want that long. Okay, you got 3 down, 1 more to go. Okay, you all earned a lollipop. Way to go. So, according to the Talmud, asking the 4 questions is so important that you can't actually continue the Seder until somebody asks the 4 questions. So at our house, the youngest person at the table would be Matthew. So according to the Talmud, Matthew would have to sing the 4 questions, but if he couldn't do it, it then goes to the next youngest person, who would be Gavin. Now let's say he couldn't do it, then it goes to the next youngest. So Tony is waving his hand, he goes next. And then it goes to Batya, and then it goes, so let's say it goes to everybody here, and nobody here is able to chant the 4 questions. How do we move forward with the Seder? Well, according to the Talmud, if I was leading the Seder, I would have to ask the 4 questions before I would then answer the 4 questions. It's so important that you ask the questions in order for the Seder to continue. Now, why do you think it is so important? More than anything else, you can skip the 4 children, right? Maybe you have 3.5 glasses of wine. Sorry, Ron. Why do you think it's so important that you can't move forward with the Seder unless you ask the questions? Sam? Because you want to know what the answer is. Good, okay. Why else? Tony? What's that? Okay, so it's technically it's 1 question in 4 subdivisions, but we won't. Yes. But why is it so important? Addie? Okay, good. So it's a really Jewish thing. In order to tell a story, I got to ask a question, right? Why else? That's a good answer, but why else do you think, Josh? Because what? Because yes. You're going to be a lawyer someday. Why else? Yes. So we can understand Passover. That's another good one. Batya. Because they're prayers. Okay. Any other guesses? Yeah? Because what? Because they're not, but you still got to ask the question. So they are questions. Why on this night do we do this instead of that? Because on all other nights we do this, but tonight we do this. So why? Why do we do this? Any other guesses? Isaac? We need to make sure our kids know it. Okay, make sure you're paying attention. Yeah? Okay, I'm going to give 2 more guesses. Yeah? It's important. Now we're just grasping at straws. Okay, Batya, then Tony. Yeah. Okay. Tony? Because it's Passover, so you have to do it. Okay, last one, Spencer. Because it's asking why we saw all good guesses. Here's why I think we need to do it. Because being able to ask questions is one of the greatest signs of being free. If you live in a country where you get to ask questions of your leaders and hold them accountable and say why this and why that, if you're allowed to ask questions, that's a great sign of freedom, right? Asking questions is the symbol of freedom, right? And it'll tell us why we have Passover, and it'll tell us, what's going on and make sure our kids know what's going on. It's a fun way to engage. But being able to ask questions is an incredibly important sign of freedom. When you're not allowed to ask any questions, you are not free. Batya, you have a question. Can we eat now? In a moment, we'll have the oneg. I see. What's that? Why do we have to specifically ask those questions? That's a really good question. Originally, those weren't the 4 questions. There were different questions because we kind of did different things, and then it kind of became cemented in that. So I'm really glad you asked that question, because in truth, the Seder wasn't meant to be, we're going to open up page 1 of the Haggadah and read everything, right? It wasn't supposed to be something that you just blindly read through and don't really think about. It was supposed to be a conversation and a dialogue, and you were supposed to hit a couple of things here and there to get through the Seder to kind of give you an order, but it wasn't supposed to be something we memorize. But unfortunately, when we write things down, then it becomes something we have to do, and we have to follow it this way, and we've got to read every page, and how could we not read that page, and we can't get to the meal unless we read that page. But the truth is if you can start asking so many questions at the 4 questions that you can't get any further in the Haggadah, you might have not only a more fun Seder, but a more interesting Seder than if you were to just randomly just read the pages because you have to. So here's the challenge to all of you. See how many good questions you can ask at the 4 questions. Oh, Batya, I'm so not concerned with you doing that at your Seder. Ask as many questions, good questions. I'm not talking about questions like, how many hairs did Moses have on his chin? I'm not interested in questions like that. But questions like, why do we ask? Why do we recline at the table if maybe we're not reclining? Why do we still ask that question? Or, why do we spill out 10 drops of wine for the 10 plagues? Shouldn't we be rejoicing that the plagues helped us get free? Why are we sad now? Questions like that. Ask a lot of those questions, because you might get some really good answers from your parents. And if you get a grandparent, because parents are all here right now, I see, but if you can get a grandparent to say, why are you asking so many questions? and then you get to tell them why, and you come in and they say that to you, I'll give you a Hershey's chocolate bar. That's my promise to you. Okay? So, but they have to be good questions, not how many hairs on Moses' chin. Okay? Tony. Serenity. Did you have a question? No. Batya. That is a really good question. How did the Red Sea separate? Here is my answer. And then we're going to end with this because you wanted to eat and we've got oneg waiting for us. Oneg is all the cookies. So we don't know if it's a true story or not, but to me, it doesn't matter if it's a true story or not, because we are a people of memory. And it doesn't matter if they walked through a split sea or maybe took the land bridge across after 435 years of slavery to be able to cross to freedom. It felt like the sea split open for them. And that's how they told the story. Did they walk through? Did they not? I don't know. But throughout history, people who have been oppressed use the metaphor of the split seas to talk about their freedom. Not just Jews, but people of all faiths and all races, when they think about freedom, they think about a sea opening for them, even if there's no sea around. So that metaphor is incredibly important. So the whole idea is to ask questions because it's a sign of freedom. But when you ask your leaders, your president, your congressmen, your senators, your governor questions, why is this oppression happening? Why aren't these people free? When you're able to ask those questions, that's how we give freedom to others. So not only is the act of asking questions a sign of freedom, it's also how we give freedom to others. So make sure you continually and continually and continually ask your leaders questions. Shabbat Shalom. Come on up, kids.
One of the other things that we're supposed to remember is in every generation, we should see ourselves as if we personally came out of Egypt, like it just happened. B'chol dor vador. B'chol dor vador chayav adam lirot et atzmo כאילו יצא ממצרים בכל דור ודור חייב אדם לראות את עצמו כאילו יצא ממצרים בכל דור ודור חייב אדם לראות את עצמו כאילו יצא ממצרים כאילו יצא ממצרים.
Shabbat Shalom once again. Just a couple of very, very brief announcements before we conclude our service. We have a very special guest coming tomorrow night, Shimon Smith, who is coming to do a concert which is suitable for the entire family. It's an Israeli rock concert. It'll be at 8 o'clock tomorrow, entitled A Taste of Israel Reform Style. So I want to encourage all of you to come to that. The next thing I need to tell you all is that this Sunday there was supposed to be a Passover workshop led by Fred Kamen. Unfortunately, it's not happening, so please don't come to the temple then. So don't come Sunday evening for the Passover Seder workshop. Let's see. Next, I would like you all to put on your calendars our next Caregiver Symposium, which is Sunday, April 16th. We're having a bunch of speakers coming in to talk about how to age in place and how to do it in a way that helps support healthy lifestyles. Is not only good for people who are thinking about transitioning from one style of housing to another, but perhaps you might have parents who you think ought to be thinking about it, but maybe haven't yet. This would be a good lecture and symposium to come to. I can see by the nodding heads that might apply to one or two of you. So come on in, even if it's not your time to think about what does it mean to age in place. The truth is, it's always time to think about how we age in place and do it with sanctity and do it the way we want to, because if we don't think about it now, when it's time, it might be a little too late. Lastly, if you have an open seat or two at your Seder table, please let me know. Even if you already came to me beforehand and said, I have an open seat, just come back and remind me. We have a couple of congregants who are looking for places for Passover Seder. So if you have an open seat or two at your Seder table, let me know so I can connect you all together. That way everybody can ask the 4 questions in unison. A big thank you to our junior choir for the wonderful singing tonight, as well as our awesome Friday night band for the lovely Shabbat music. And at the conclusion of our service, we'll meet in Littman Hall for Kiddush and Motzi and
Lollipops.
an opportunity to give out lollipops. On this Shabbat Eve, as we join together as one congregation to celebrate creation, the joy of life and living, we turn our thoughts to those in our community for whom life has become precarious because of health or hospitalization. O God of healing, in our hearts we name those who are facing illness and pain. We join our prayers together with the prayers of those who love them. Give them renewed comfort and courage. Strengthen in them the healing powers you place within us all, and guide the hands and hearts of those who are entrusted with their care. May the knowledge of your love and ours give added hope to them and their families, and may they find even greater strength because our prayers are linked to theirs. Mishaberach avotenu v'imotenu hu yivarech et hacholim, Rufuat nefesh, rufuat haguf, hashta'a b'ga'alav, zman kariv, v'nomar, Amen. May the one who blessed our ancestors bless those in need of healing. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit, as together we say, Amen.
Bekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us sing, Amen. Sheberach imotenu, mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us sing, Amen.
And also, I forgot to mention that tonight's Oneg is sponsored by the junior choir family, so thank you all for that. We continue now on page 282 as we rise in either body or spirit for Elena.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Page 287. May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding. Loved, each of us, for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech. May we never lift up our hand, but to conquer fear, doubt, and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace.
ונאמר והיה אדוני לך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו ושמו אחד ושמו אחד.
Our thoughts turn now to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. In particular, we name now those who died recently, whose families are observing the Shloshim. In particular, we remember Ben Kibble, husband of Lydia, father of Philip and Heather and Mark and Sherry, brother of Maria and Louise, grandfather of Jacob and Zachary and Rose, Adina and Eliza and Aviella. And on this Shabbat, we also recall those dear ones who died at this season in years past and whose names we record with love in our service booklet this evening. Their names are forever bound to our hearts and are permanently inscribed throughout this building. If you're joining us tonight online to say Kaddish for a loved one, I invite you to say their names aloud at home or type their names into the chat on our temple's website so that we can lift up the names of your loved ones together with you. And if you're here in person to say Kaddish for a loved one, please say their names as I look around the sanctuary.
Raymond Falk.
Zichronam livracha. May all their names and memories only be for a blessing. I invite all the mourners, if able, to rise for Kaddish Yatom, Mourner's Kaddish on page 294. Yitkadal, V'yikadash, Shmei Rabbah, V'yalma divrach karutei, V'yamlik machutei, V'chayechon v'yomechon, V'chaye dekol Beit Yisrael, V'gala b'zman kariv v'yimru Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah Mivrach Leolam Olamei Almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shemei Kudusha B'richu. Ve'elam min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush b'chata v'nechamata. Da'amiran bi'alma v'imru, Amen. Yehi shlam rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, Amen. May the source of peace bestow peace to all who mourn, and may we be a source of comfort for all who are bereaved, as we say, Amen.
Ose shalom b'mromav, uyase shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imeru, Amen. We end our service tonight with the singing of Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, found on page 353 as we rise.
And if you're a kid who hasn't had their bar bat mitzvah yet, you're more than welcome to come on up and join us on the bima for our closing song.
Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, Shalom. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, Shalom. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, Shalom. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, Salam. Last time.
Shalom Aleinu. Shalom Aleinu.
Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.